Welcome to Valkyrie. My name is Valkyrie Generic Gamer. We are back, or it's not gonna be we are back. This is the bottom of the well, and we're playing today. Kind of third time trying to do this. Third time's a charm. We're gonna go default. This is just getting our different skills. So 3 survivals, 3 supplies. I guess 3 in everything. The default Alice is capable of finishing the game to its true ending, but not necessarily through all branches. This Alice is career motivated, friendly, somewhat lazy, a hopeless romantic, with no survival skills at all. Why is it 0 and everything? She makes up for it by being a good organizer. Accept and start. Dream Diary, September 13, 2015. Today I've witnessed the weirdest dream in my life. I'm waiting for the day to come on. Gosh, I'm feeling like I'm going crazy. Morning, eh? Morning. Did you catch the anniversary reading last night? No. Well, I tried, but I fell asleep. Listen, about that. You fell asleep? Oh, come on. Alice in Wonderland is like our favorite. Let me finish. Something happened. I was tuning in on my radio. You're such a Luddite. Amazing I can even catch you online. Shut up. I'm not a Luddite. I just like analog things. Anyway, I was tuning into the broadcast and I must have hit the AM switch or something, because suddenly the channel changed to something else. What? Aliens? Oh, government-run number station? What the heck is that? No, it was this weird, like, white noise at first. It's hard to explain why I was so drawn to it. I could hear snippets of some melody, maybe lyrics, but the signal was weak. So you turned it off and continued looking for the Alice broadcast. So I went out to my balcony and turned the antenna around until the signal came through clear. It now sounded more like music, with the odd signal in the background. When logic and proportion have fallen sloppy dead, and the White Knight is talking backwards, and the Red Queen's off with their head. Oh, so somebody's pirate radio broadcast of golden oldies? It felt like there was something else there, some message that the music was hiding. I know it sounds weird, and then I fell asleep. What a story. No, hear me out. I dreamed, and I didn't know I was dreaming. Do you understand? It was like entirely lucid, but like waking up in another world, except I didn't think of it as another world. Ugh, does any of this make sense to you? You had a super lifelike dream where you didn't know you were dreaming, but you were still lucidly in control? Sounds pretty rad to me. I'm sure it would have been, except for the whole end of the world apocalypse bit in the dream. Okay, now you've got my attention. And then the game starts. So like I said, it was the end of the world. Everything I did that day felt like the real thing. Every smell, every sound, every color, every touch. And it's important you know that. I wasn't acting like it wasn't a dream. I didn't know it was a dream. Heavy. There was no warning, no build-up, nothing. Just between one moment and the next, the TV had turned to the emergency alert system, and this voice that sounded like it had been recorded in the 60s told us we were under attack. You were alone? Were you alone? Yeah, I had a really long day at the office, so I had sworn off all social contact for the evening. I had the TV on in the background, just as noise. Wait, what? The office? Do you mean that you've got some kind of real adult person job in this dream of yours? Yeah, actually, at the college. Student admissions office. Hey, don't sound so surprised. I am going to graduate in just a few months, you know. Uh-huh, with a BA in English Lit. Shut up. Shut skills with words. That was singular. Anyway, what happened next? Like I said, the TV suddenly turned to the emergency alert system. Jacked the volume all the way up, too. I didn't even know they could do that. The broadcast told us we were under attack, right now, and that we needed to get to shelter. That we had less than 30 minutes before the bombs hit. Man, sounds scary. At first I didn't want to believe it. I switched the channel, but they were all the same. And then the sirens started. Tornado sirens. Flood sirens? I don't know. And I knew things were serious. So what do? I immediately tried to call Chess. Chess? Who's that? My, boyfriend. I mean, I don't have a boyfriend, but in my dream I did. Wait up, tell me more about this sudden new boyfriend of yours. I thought you weren't in the dating scene. Actually, I've been thinking about putting myself out there, like maybe some online dating or something. Although I'm kind of afraid to check OkCupid right now. What if there's a guy named Chess? Good icebreaker. Hi, I'm Alice. I dreamed about you last night. You're my end of the world buddy. Funny. Aren't I just? You were saying about this Chess. What kind of name is that anyways? I wasn't, really. I mean, yeah, he was pretty hot, I guess, and smart and into me. What more could you ask for? I could sense you blushing all the way over here. Maybe I should check my OkCupid profile, actually. So what did your boyfriend think? Well, first I tried calling him, but all I got was a pre-recorded network busy message. But the net still worked, so I hit him up there. I mean, we did most of our communications in chat anyways. Just occurred to me, I did. Sorry about that. And I found him, but there was no time for, well, anything. I started typing, you know? Holy heck, what the heck is going on style stuff. And he just tersely replied he had to go. That's a little blunt. He told me he needed to get to his sister. Go get to his sister. His sister? How come? He had mentioned her a few times. She's disabled, I'm using his voice. She's disabled, but lives in a house by herself, out somewhere in the boroughs. Did he ask you to come too? He didn't ask, I did. I'm going to be outside my apartment in 5 minutes, he said, then logged off. I guess that's an invitation of sorts? So what do you do? Well, I knew that Chess wasn't going to wait for me. If I wanted to go with him, I had to go right away. Just grab my stuff and go. Making quick decisions in the spur of a moment doesn't sound like you, so what do you do? I went with him to go to his sister. So I decided to go with Chess. I mean, how couldn't I? He clearly needed help. Altruistic. How long have you been dating? Cynic. Long enough to know my feelings were real. I mean, they felt real in the dream. Where did the sister live again? In a borough, practically the suburbs. So pretty far? Chess said he usually takes the subway or a bus. Chess actually lived just down the street. Keeps switching tenses. And we always had a customary place to meet. We didn't even need to confirm the place anymore. But it didn't seem very likely we would be able to catch a bus or the subway. So how were you planning on getting to the sister? In less than 30 minutes? Oh, spoiler, the bombs didn't start dropping on us within 30 minutes. It took longer than that. They did start, though. That's lucky. Yeah, well, it didn't mean we weren't in a hurry. But you didn't leave empty-handed, though, right? Oh, right. Yes, I grabbed the biggest bag I had. A backpack. People always called it magic. You could fit so much in it. Bigger on the inside and all that. So we're gonna take ourselves... This is our university ID, office, student, staff, card, key. Take a flashlight. We're gonna take a map. Take the radio. Sleeping bag. Food. We're gonna leave behind spare clothes, extra food. That's it. It's all up here. Is this my bag? Go on, Burrow, sister, bombs incoming. How did you plan to get there in the chaos? The chaos. Yeah, the streets were nuts. Everything and everyone was going crazy. Crashes everywhere, but no one was responding. The streets was completely gridlocked. I'm talking maybe 15 minutes after the first announcement here. All it takes is a few cars in the wrong place. But you live pretty centrally, right? It had to be further out. Did Chess have a car? No, but if we wanted a car, there were tons around. People just left them, keys in the ignition, and ran. Holy moly. It really must have been bedlam. It was. I was so scared. So, steal a car or walk? We discussed walking. It was like 14 minutes or something. It would probably take at least 4 or 5 hours on a good day. It was like 14... Oh, 14 miles, not minutes. Oh, I'm so stupid. Oh, I'm the stupidest stupid person. You're not going to understand why. But yeah, I'm stupid. It's not minutes, it's miles. Caused much confusion. Maybe a good start though. Things might clear up outside the downtown area, and you might be able to see a car there. Appropriate a car. Stealing sounds so criminal. Heh, whatever you say. Any other options except stealing, appropriating a car and hooving it? Something in between. I know a guy with a motorcycle. He really loves that motorcycle, but I wonder if maybe he'd be willing to borrow it. That's not the right words. I mean, for heaven's sake, we're going to rescue a disabled woman. You know him well. Reasonably. I didn't know you knew how to drive a motorcycle. I'm a woman with many talents. So what did you do? We walked out of the worst chaos. I decided walking was the best option. The whole downtown area was gridlock, cars everywhere, people running down the sidewalks, and the sirens blaring. It was like one of those disaster movies. No hope of driving anywhere, at any rate. But where was everyone going? Most of them were going home, I think. People were just in the wrong place at the wrong time. And there you were, running away from home. Once I made my decision, I stuck to it, no matter how much I was filled with doubt. Half an hour was nothing. Nothing at all. But luckily that estimate was completely wrong. Sometimes I'll walk half an hour in the wrong direction just because I'll stubbornly refuse to believe I'm lost. I didn't know what was the right direction, but I did try to get there as fast as possible. Although there was a lot, try it again. Although that was a lot harder than I thought it would be. I was swept up in a mass of people and manhandled in the wrong direction more than once. Every few minutes, I stopped to consult the map to make sure I was going in the right direction. That's why you have the map. Was there any danger? Like, people attacking each other or something? No, I thought we were all going in the same direction, but then I realized that the crowd was heading somewhere I hadn't planned to go. A subway station. What do? I was swept along. It was that or get trampled or pinned against some wall. I finally managed to disentangle myself at the stalled mass of people. My throat. At the stalled mass of people just outside the entrance. Apparently it was closed, and people were trying to break through the gates. By the time I was out, I had lost a lot of time. Time. Yes. Isn't that the thing you're fighting here? How far away were you planning on getting? Well, a lot further than I had gotten at that point. I could practically see my apartment building, but the crowd was slowly thinning at least, and I actually saw a vehicle in motion, an ambulance, weaving between stalled cars with the sirens blaring. What'd you do? What I had planned to, find and appropriate a car. I'm still not sure how you're ethically justifying this to yourself. I was scared out of my wits and it seemed like a good idea at the time. Fair enough, so how'd you go about it? I, kind of just jumped into the first open door I found. Of course there was no key, because the driver still had it. He had just been on the other side of the car, seeing me sitting there. He had just been on the other side of the car? Ooh! Seeing me sitting there, he had a minor apoplectic fit and ran at me, keys in hand. Woo! Gosh dang it, Alice. I knew you weren't a car thief material. I panicked when I saw him coming and went for the door. He saw me do it and tried to stop me, but in my squirrely state, I managed to close it in his face and then immediately lock it. Of course, he did have the key, but I managed to crawl out of the passenger door before he got the car door open again. Lucky. Hey, it was my first attempt at car theft. Even if it didn't go very well. I'm assuming you stopped after this? I soaked around for a bit longer, but I didn't dare try another car. Next time I have a gun in his hand, not the key, so I finally decided to stop wasting time and start walking. Shouldn't you be finding some kind of shelter? I still hope I can get far away enough to be out of danger. Yeah. Yes, I was slacking. I found myself looking over my shoulder at all times, as if the flash could come at any time. Aren't you supposed to look away from the flash? Well, yeah, but how could I not? Some warning, something. The sirens were pointless. Weren't they supposed to warn when the event was imminent? Now I'd been out for at least an hour and no bombs yet. I think I would have just stayed home, or done just about anything but head out into the open. You do that when you have this dream. I did what I did. So how long did you risk staying out? I asked Chess what he thought, and he shook his head. He was going to keep going. No man left behind. I think I just made a mistake. Jess's single-mindedness was what led me. I was pretty sure this was a monumental mistake and that we'd get caught outside and killed for sure. But I couldn't just leave him, so I kept walking. So how did that work out for you? You think it was easy? People had driven out into the sidewalks and left their cars. Everything was a mess. I tried going down the main highway, but it proved pointless and I had to backtrack. I didn't say it was easy. Did you consider running? I think I lost. I half ran and jogged as much as I could, but I felt like being late for class. I got tired almost immediately while the goal was still as far away as ever. Chess wanted to go faster, but he slowed down when he saw I was struggling. The worried look on his face went nowhere, though. Well, once I got away from the downtown area, things were much smoother. I ran as fast as I could, as far as I could. No bombs, still no bombs. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe my luck, but I knew I was pushing it now. What'd you do? We were getting closer, so we kept walking. Oh, you don't do that. So did you make it? Maybe the bombs were just a scare. No, they weren't. I saw it as a glow high above the town. Messed up. What? You were outside when the bombs fell? I don't know. I thought I'd have time to get away. But I just wasted too much of it somehow. I was out in the street when the initial shockwave came. There was just no duck and cover would have saved any of us there from that, and I don't think. The next thing I know, I'm showered in glass as every window above us shattered. Cars swerved off the road and crashed. Bedlam. And light, bright, bright light. I tried to crawl out of the way when something hit me. Maybe a piece from a building? Oh no, I blacked out. You have a really messed up imagination, Alice. I don't. It didn't feel like a dream. That's the thing, because you don't wake up in dreams, do you? But I did, bleeding, alone, out on the street. What did you see? I saw a burning city, ash rained down, and downtown, far too close, a mushroom cloud, just staring at me in the face. It was the end of the world. I just knew that there and then. Jeez. And then there was a streak of light, and it was actually almost beautiful as it fell from space. Just a streak of light, at only a slight angle. I just had time to think, no, we've had enough, before it hit. For some reason, I elected to stare right at it when it impacted, above the ground in a terrible fireball. Oh, please tell me the dream ended there. Yeah, I didn't really see it though, but I died, eventually, in the dark. And thus concluded my dream. Well, that was interesting. What do you think? I think it felt incomplete, like there was something missing. That wasn't the only way it's supposed to end. That wasn't the way it was supposed to end, you know? Dreams are supposed to end in certain ways. This one was, I think. It felt like it was trying to tell me something, but I wasn't listening closely enough. Maybe you can try again next night. See if you hear the same recording. Speaking of, what frequency was it on? That's the wrong voice. That's the weird part. When I tried to see, I realized I had hit the right channel, and I was in fact reading Alice in Wonderland. And this isn't exactly some obscure number station frequency on the AM bands. Well, maybe you'll dream it Dream its next night again. Anyway, that's the good thing with dreams. You can always dream them again. And maybe do something different the second time around. Red Nettle. This isn't the end. Gonna go back, skip through, get to that choices, do better. Oh, I gotta see. Better prepared. 2 out of 5. Huh. Take me in. Alright guys, I'll catch you right when I get back. Alright guys, everything else is the same except I'm gonna change it right here. I kept walking, although I started to look for a shelter. I found myself looking over my shoulder at all time, as if the flash could come at any time. Aren't you supposed to look away from the flash? Well, yeah, but how could I not? Some warning, something. The sirens were pointless. Weren't they supposed to warn when the event was immediate? Now I'd been cut out for at least an hour. At least I'd been out for at least an hour, and no bombs yet. I think I would have just stayed home, or done just about anything but head out into the open. You do that when you have this dream. I did what I did. So how long did you risk staying out? I asked Chess what he thought, and he shook his head. He was going to keep going. I couldn't risk it. I demanded we stop and look for shelter. So what did you find? I kept checking my map. When I saw the subway sign, I knew I was going in the right direction. I kept feeling like a bomb would fall on my head at any moment. When Chess saw that, he immediately told me to stop. I tried to argue with him that we had to find shelter, but he wouldn't give any of it. He said I should go, but he was going to keep going. We were already wasting time. Nothing I could say could persuade him otherwise. Just like that. He said to come look for him when it was all over, although I had my doubts. Ah. Anyway, I had other, more immediate things to worry about. That was probably not very safe, though. I mean, it must have been packed. Oh, yes. As I got closer, I did see something that made my heart surge. Policemen, actual government workers. They were ushering everyone down below, and people were actually moving in a somewhat orderly fashion. Is your subway system bomb-proof? I have no idea. I was caught up in a stream of people either way and found myself shepherded. My throat. Below ground. It smelled of pee and vomit and other odor, and the crying and shouting made talking impossible. So a regular Friday night at the underground. Funny. Anyway, there was actually a semblance of order down there. Policemen were giving people places to sleep. Also down on the tracks. And you ended up on the tracks. At least I had my sleeping bag to protect me against the cold, hard ground. I wrapped myself up as well as I could while people kept jostling me around, waiting for the end. At least you weren't alone, and it had to be safer underground, right? I didn't feel safe, not at all. Someone could have knocked me out. Heck, someone could probably have shanked me down there and no one would have noticed. I was almost more frightened. My throat keeps dying. I haven't talked this much in a long time. I was almost more frightened of the other people than I was of the bombs. The bombs were just abstract threats, while all these panicking people were right there. What? No coming together of people? No great communion in the face of danger? Every man for himself. Anyway, apocalypse. So it was real. I mean, in the dream. Yes, the first one was the worst, because the light went out with it. I tried to make my... I'll be right back. I gotta get something to drink. Okay, I got water. Yes, the first one was the worst. Let me see. Because the lights went out with it. I tried to make myself as small as I could, but I still got kicked once or twice by people running by in a panic. A few moments later, there were flashlights out, police shouting and telling everyone to be calm. Be calm? I don't know of a substitute for that. Whatever. The lights were out and it was completely, utterly pitch dark. The first one. There were more. I lost count. With every blast, there was this terrible sound from the roof, like it was crying out. Small pieces of it rained down with every rumble, and we all responded to its cry. Man. Did the roof hold? It groaned. Rocks tumbled down, someone got hit by one big enough to hurt, and they cried out. I don't think the station was very far underground at all, and it hadn't been designed for bombings in mind. That must have been pretty harrowing. Not just for me. A lot of people got up and said they weren't going to stay. There was a surge of people. Panic was mounting again. It was quiet outside, but the policemen didn't want anyone leaving yet. There was a lot of screaming. Some demanded to be let out. I had to stand up to avoid getting jostled or trampled again. What did you do? That's when the final bomb hit. Close. Maybe it had been shot out, of course. Maybe. Who knows? I was looking towards the exit when it hit, and I could see the firestorm sweeping down into it, engulfing the hapless policemen and anyone who had been pushing against them to come out. Everyone screamed, but it was drowned out by the sound of the roof beginning to fall. Dust covered everything. 1 second. Water. Yep, Good old water, and the world's biggest bottle you can find. Everyone screamed, but it was drowned out by the sound of the roof beginning to fall. Dust covered everything. Man, what'd you do? After I finished coughing, something was burning so I could actually see. Although... What happened? Although I didn't particularly want to. What I saw was that most were either huddling down, praying to whatever god they had that they wouldn't be buried alive, or then trying to escape. No one could get past the burning wreckage at the entrance, but the subway tunnels were wide open. Most were crowding into the tunnels leading westward, away from the downtown area, but it was a stampede. The tunnels... Man. Unprepared. The tunnels leading east, back from where I came, were practically empty by comparison. Thought this game was like 20 minutes long, I swear. That's what it says. I would get out of there if I were you, regardless of the direction. Where'd you go? I just hurtled down and joined praying. West, east. Can I see the map? Subway station. Where's downtown? West, east, west, east. With the crowd, not with the crowd. Not with the crowd. I rushed into the east tunnel, heedless of what came behind me. As I ran, I heard the collapse of the subway station behind me and saw it was all light went out. Oh man, good thing you got out of that one. Yeah, I had a flashlight, thank God. As I shone it around the tunnel, I realized to my amazement I was the only one who'd ran into it. Many others had run to the parallel one, but I was alone there. Here. I went back to where the tunnel collapsed, but it was just an insurmountable barrier of concrete and rebar, on the other side of which you might have been. Well, I don't know if where I was much better. What if all the stations had collapsed? What if I was trapped in this tunnel? And wasn't that a heck of a lot more likely the closer to ground zero you get? Fair point. The thing was, I knew this line. This was my line, and the next stop was my stop. So right back to zero. Pretty much. At least it was faster to walk around underground than above ground. Had the station collapsed? Take a wild guess. Of course it had. That's not good. There was a similar pile blocking the entrance here, but I shone my flashlight over it, climbing up as high as I could until I saw something amazing. The glint of metal. A train? Yep, it must have been in the station when the bombs hit. I started digging. I mean, this took a long while. A full day at least, but in the end I had unearthed an emergency exit at the back of the train car. And you got that one open too? With some effort. I had no shortage of blunt objects though. When I stepped into it, I realized it was sunlight I was seeing further ahead. I could have cried. So you could get out. Yes, through one of the windows. I crawled through a short tunnel made out of debris, careful not to look at what else the tunnel was made out of, and crawled up into, well, pretty dim, pretty foreboding sunlight, but still sunlight. And what did it look like? Better than that tunnel, but not by much. The sky was dark, the rain of ash was coming down, the city was burning, scorched, ruin. A bit like me, probably, crawling out of that hole. Achievement unlocked, Metro 2016. Give me a sec. Need like a sore throat lozenge. Radioactive ash. Presumably. Although I was too busy breathing in big gulps of fresh air to give a hoot. So what do you do? Same thing. Get the heck out of town. Wanted to check my apartment since it was so close. Chess! So, going after Chess, where would you start? Simple. I knew where he'd gone to find his sister, and I knew where she lived. And where was that? Well, Pretty far, actually, out in their burrows. It'd take a while to walk, well, with the public transportation out of order. As if you let something like that deter you. True, but it's pretty far, and I was alone. It would be dangerous. Did you reconsider? I decided I'd head out and not look for him specifically if I happened to cross. No, I wanted to find him even if it was dangerous. No, but I decided to stay at his apartment instead. Maybe he'd come back. Decided to head out, not looking for him specifically if I happened to cross. Yeah, it's dangerous. I guess go back. I stayed in that apartment for several days more, eating Chess's food and looking through all of his things. No diary, sadly, and he only had a desktop computer with no power. Was that wise, staying there? No, but the truth was I really didn't have a choice. I realized I was too weak to travel. The ash rain turned to black sludge outside the window. I tried to keep the ash and the wet out, but at first I thought I was just tired. From the long night, the stress, seeing all those bodies. But it was something worse. I wouldn't wish it on anyone. The nausea, the diarrhea. It didn't matter what I ate. It'd all just come back up again. Soon I was too weak to leave the sofa. This is when you woke up? I wish. I lingered. It was slow. Towards the end, I don't know how many days had passed, but many. Someone came into the door in my delirium. I was dehydrated and in a fever. I thought it was Chess who'd come home from the store with my medicine. I called out. It wasn't Chess? No, or maybe it was. I couldn't see any longer. I know they ended me. I think it was a mercy killing more than anything else. You have incredibly messed up a subconscious. Gah! Not again. Okay, fine. That ends it. Gonna call this episode here. My throat is dying pretty bad. Thank you everybody so much for watching. Please hit that like button if you enjoyed and subscribe if you want to see more in the future. I will probably be playing this game also more. Got a bunch of games I have to play. This one was fun, more relaxing. But I'm gonna call it stay awesome everybody. Better prepared, 3 out of 5 unlocked. Goodbye.